workforces have been working hard. They're doing the best they can with the tools and resources that they've got. And this isn't a reflection of the work of them. If you were looking inward, when we're talking about operating models and we're talking about inefficiencies, coming from that sector and having years of experience, where do you see the inefficiency?
So I'm going to talk about three things, okay? And I'll start with the one where I think we have the biggest gap. We need the most impact from our side, okay? Not externally, and that's the use of higher and higher intelligence, software intelligence in this case, to diagnose, to predict, and to address issues. These are complex networks. I mean, if you think about what it takes for me to see your happy pretty picture and you to get a picture from me right now, the complexity of everything that is happening between me and you today is pretty incredible, and we take it for granted. And I'm not trying to say, oh, it's a difficult job, so we're doing it perfectly. But that complexity can only be addressed in with use of higher and higher intelligence software. Okay, and the cloudification, if you will, of our infrastructure, the ability for us to have more and more distributed infrastructure, while it provides a lot of help and a lot of resilience, it increases also the complexity. And so I think the number one area where we're still going to be innovating for a long, long term is in increasing the value of intelligent software inside our network to more proactively identify and resolve issues in the networks. This industry operates, let's call it generally, on the 18, 19, 20% of capital investment as a percent of your revenue, right? So for every £1 billion of revenue that you see in the UK this year, there will be an investment of anywhere from 18 to 27%. It's about the range that you're going to see, or on a year by year and on a company by company basis. And of course, you need the scale to be able to make those investments. But we're a healthy company. We're obviously like anybody else. We wish we'd make more money, and we'll try to do that. But we place significant investments into the maintenance and the improvements of the network. So I would say that's the number one first area, looking inside, and making sure that we put enough emphasis on that. If I look at operating model, the blessing of this industry is that we have a large established consumer base, but that's also the curse, right? I cannot have the luxury, for example, of some of the streaming providers on entertainment, where they say there is zero phone call support. Okay, I mean, I'm sure you subscribe to some of them, and if you try to speak to an actual human, 15 minutes would be a miracle. I mean, it'll take you a few weeks before you have the opportunity to actually even try to speak to an actual human, right? Because they are businesses that were born in a digital era where they're okay to tell their consumers all your support is going to be digital, and exactly the same for billing, right? I mean, we still provide paper bills. We still have significant amount of overhead and complexity that comes with that in billing our customers. And again, we benefit from the fact that we have a large install base, but it's also that makes it very difficult to move, right? Whereas if you look at a modern streaming business, just to compare it, okay? You told me not to name names, but I was hoping I could name names, so get a little bit more controversial. But if I look at some of my, partners / competitors in the streaming business, they were born in 100% credit card, right? I mean, you have Netflix, Amazon Prime, and by the way, they're fantastic partners. I want to be very clear. They're an interesting mix between competitor and partner, because we do a lot of business together, and I take great pride that if you're watching Netflix on Virgin Media, you're going to have a better experience that if you're watching Netflix in other networks. And we work with them proactively to be able to do that. But for example, if you compare how billing is done for Netflix and how billing is done for Virgin Media, I mean, it's night and day, right? And again, it's a bit of both a blessing and a curse, the fact that we come from this inertia of large businesses.
Is there anything that you're looking at the moment?
It's interesting because if you Google AI and robotics, AI and telecommunications, you're likely to come up with lots of examples about the call center. Okay, everybody seems to be very focused on call center, and yeah, call center is a lot of you know provides a lot of value with respect to end consumer service quality as well as a lot of cost. Okay, um, but in my opinion, the number one place where we're going to see positive benefit, both the consumer and the business of AI, is actually going to be in the health of the network.